The trade at Dustfire Tavern. Dustfire Tavern was loud, dirty, and filled with smoke. On the edge of a mining colony, it was a place where deals were made, secrets were whispered, and fights started over almost nothing. The air smelled like rust, old grease, and spilled alien drinks. Logan walked in, boots heavy with red dust from the streets outside. He was a human mechanic, working odd jobs in the outer systems. His ship was falling apart, and he needed fuel cells, but he had little money left. Just one bottle of real Earth-made whiskey. He'd been saving it for years. Something to trade. Something rare. He sat at the bar and ordered nothing. From the corner of the tavern, a loud, slurred voice shouted, "Whiskey, I'll trade for..." "Whiskey!" Logan turned his head. A drunk alien slaver, green-scaled and fat, was waving a cup in the air. No one listened to him. He looked pathetic. "I'll give you 2 girls," the alien shouted. "They're mine. Take them. Just give me something to drink." Logan frowned. He wasn't a fan of slavers. "Girls?" he asked, half curious, half annoyed. The alien stumbled forward and slapped a cracked data slate on the counter. "Bio ID codes. 2 of them. Registered property. They're not worth much. Too quiet. Don't even talk much. Creepy little things." "I don't deal in people," Logan said coldly. "Not people," the alien laughed. "Experiments, weapons, I don't know. They don't eat much. Don't fight back, just sit there. Pretty though, soft skin, big eyes. Worth something to someone." Logan was ready to walk away. Then the alien added, "1 drink, human. Just 1 drink from your bottle." Logan looked at the bottle in his jacket. Old Earth whiskey. A treasure out here. Why? Did he pause? Maybe it was pity. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe something else. He tossed the bottle on the counter. The alien grabbed it with shaking hands, twisted it open, and drank like a dying man. Logan picked up the data slate. 2 names flashed on the screen, Rhea and Tess. Species, unknown hybrid. Gender, female. Status, unclaimed property. In the back room, a small cage opened with a hiss. 2 girls stepped out. They were strange. Beautiful, yes, but not in a normal way. One had soft violet skin, long silver hair, and glowing blue eyes. She moved slowly, carefully, like the world was made of glass. That was Rhea. The other had fire-red eyes, dark skin with faint patterns glowing under the surface, and a sharp gaze that scanned Logan like a weapon. That was Tess. They wore thin, torn clothes. Their feet were bare, their faces emotionless. They walked toward Logan. No words, no fear. Rhea stopped in front of him and lowered her head. Tess kneeled silently beside her. "What the hell?" Logan whispered. The tavern had gone quiet. Everyone stared. "Take them," the drunk slaver shouted. "No refunds!" Logan turned and walked out, unsure what he had just done. The girls followed. Back at his small ship, Logan unlocked the door and stepped inside. He turned, ready to tell the girls to go, to be free, to live their lives. But they had already stepped inside and sat quietly on the floor. "You don't have to stay," he said. No answer. He tried again. "You're not slaves, you can go." Still no answer, just those eyes watching him. Logan sighed and walked to the cockpit. He leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. "Just 1 drink," he muttered to himself. He didn't sleep well. Dreams came, strange dreams, fire, voices, pain, someone whispering his name. Morning. He woke up to the smell of something warm. He looked into the small kitchen area. Rhea was cooking. Somehow, with almost no supplies, she had made food. She turned to him and gave a soft nod. Her hands moved gently. She didn't speak, but her eyes were calm. Tess stood nearby, arms crossed. Watching. "I told you," Logan said again. "You're free," Tess finally spoke. Her voice was quiet but firm. "You bought us." "Yeah," he said, "but you're not things." Rhea looked down. Tess shook her head. "You gave something rare, For us, that means something. It was just a drink. To us, it was everything, Tess said. You didn't touch us, you didn't hurt us, you let us walk. Rhea slowly walked over and placed a small piece of food in his hand. Her fingers were cold. Logan sat down. He didn't understand. Not fully. But one thing was clear. They weren't leaving. Logan stared at the two alien girls as they moved around his ship like they belonged there. The ship was small, barely 2 rooms and a cockpit, but somehow they made it feel full. Rhea floated across the floor with silent steps, cleaning the dusty corners no one had touched in years. Tess, more serious, stood guard near the door, watching every sound, every flicker on the radar. Logan had brought them home only because it felt wrong to leave them, but he never expected them to stay. He had spoken softly again and again, trying to explain. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "I just wanted to get you away from that drunk." But Rhea only tilted her head and blinked, those glowing blue eyes full of something he couldn't name. And Tess had simply answered, "You gave us more than freedom." He didn't know what that meant. Maybe he didn't want to know. He had work to do. By the next morning, Logan tried to leave them behind. He thought if he went to his junkyard, shift early, they'd get the message. But when he looked back as he crossed the metal gate, they were right behind him. Quiet, barefoot, and calm. The junkyard boss, a 3-armed alien named Grat, gave him a sharp look. "You brought them. Here? They won't stay," Logan muttered. "I told them." Grat grunted and pointed to the pile of scrap. "Fine, but keep them out of trouble." Logan sighed. He handed Tess a wrench, mostly to keep her busy, but instead of confusion, she examined it with skilled fingers. Then, without a word, she walked over to a broken drone engine and began fixing it like a professional. "Wait, what?" Logan blinked as she twisted the tool in one clean movement. Rhea sat nearby, her fingers brushing a cracked energy coil. Sparks flew. Logan jumped forward, but instead of an explosion, the coil gave a soft hum and lit up with green power. "Is this working?" he whispered. Grat stared, mouth open. "That coil's been dead for years." Logan looked between the two girls. What are you?" They didn't answer. But Tess glanced up and said simply, "You saved us, so we help." After that, they worked beside him all day. The other workers stared. Whispers spread across the scrapyard. Where did that human get them? Did he build them? Are they even alive? Logan ignored the questions. But, deep down, he was wondering the same things. The girls didn't eat like normal beings. Rhea barely touched her food, while Tess seemed to survive on heat packs. And they didn't sleep. They just sat still, eyes open, as if always watching. Triwat. Night. Logan tried to speak again. "You don't need to follow me, you can live your own life." Rhea, sitting cross-legged near the ship's engine, finally whispered. "We don't know how." Tess added, "No one ever let us choose. Until you." "But I didn't do anything," Logan said. "I didn't save you from a battlefield. I didn't risk my life." Rhea shook her head slowly. "You didn't look at us like we were tools. And you didn't ask us to serve," Tess said. "That's why we stay." Logan felt a strange tightness in his chest. He wasn't used to people needing him. Not like this. Especially not two alien girls who could probably crush him if they wanted to. But they didn't. They just sat there, loyal and still, like they had nowhere else to be. The next day, a merchant ship landed near the scrapyard. A tall alien trader stepped out, his eyes scanning the workers. When he saw Rhea and Tess, his mouth curled into a sharp grin. "You there, human," he shouted. "How much for the girls?" Logan froze. "They're not for sale." The trader laughed. "Don't be foolish. They're well designed. They move smooth, strong, quiet. I've seen that type before. Weapons made to obey. Name your price." Logan stepped forward. I said no. The trader's smile faded. "Careful, human. Things like them attract the wrong attention. With that, he left. But his eyes stayed cold, watching Logan even as he boarded his ship. That night, Logan locked every door. He checked the cameras twice. Something about that traitor felt wrong. In the dark, Tess appeared beside him. "Danger is coming," she said. Logan looked at her, surprised. "You can sense it?" "No," she replied. "I know how they think. Once someone sees value, they want to take it." Logan nodded slowly. "Then we'll be ready." She stepped closer. "You shouldn't protect us. We should protect you." Logan almost smiled. "Deal." Outside, the stars blinked quietly above. Inside, the little ship that once felt empty now felt full. Too full of mystery, of secrets, and something else. Something that felt like the beginning of a strange new life. They hadn't just followed him home. They'd chosen him. The morning sun rose over the red hills of the mining colony, casting long shadows across the scrapyard. Logan stood by his workbench, watching as sparks flew from the broken drone he was trying to repair. But his hands felt slow today, distracted. His mind kept drifting to the two girls who now lived in his ship like silent guardians. They were strange, yes, but it wasn't just their glowing eyes or smooth movements. It was something deeper, something unnatural, or maybe something far more advanced. As Logan tightened the last bolt, he glanced over at Tess. She was standing near a stack of crushed transport hulls, arms crossed. A worker nearby struggled to lift a heavy panel. Tess stepped forward, placed one hand on the metal, and with no effort at all, lifted it like it weighed nothing. The other workers froze. Some whispered. One backed away, clearly frightened. Logan walked up to her. "You're stronger than you look." Tess didn't smile. "We were made to be useful." He opened his mouth to ask more, but Rhea interrupted. "Logan, over here." He turned and saw her crouched near a pile of old energy coils. They were useless, most completely dead. But she touched one with her fingers and closed her eyes. The coil glowed, slowly at first, then bright. A soft humming sound came from deep inside it, like it was coming back to life. Logan knelt beside her. "How are you doing that?" "I don't know," she said softly. "It feels like calling something home." He stared at her hands. No wires, no tools, just touch, just thought. By noon, word had spread through the colony. A group of alien engineers arrived at the gate. They didn't say who sent them, but they weren't there for junk. Their eyes locked on Rhea and Tess from the moment they stepped inside. "They're not machines," one whispered. "But they're not normal either." Another scanned them with a device. The screen flickered, then turned black. "It can't read them. They're hybrid tech," the oldest said. "Living circuits, part organic, part something else, and bonded." Logan stepped between them. "Back off. They're with me." The engineers exchanged glances. One leaned closer and whispered, "If they've bonded to you, you're already marked." "Marked by who?" But the man didn't answer. He just turned and walked away. That night, Logan locked the ship down again. Inside, it was quiet. Too quiet. He sat across from the girls at the tiny dinner table. "Are you two going to tell me what's really going on?" Rhea played with her food, eyes down. Thies met his gaze. "We were born in a lab," Tess said. "Not to a mother. Not in a home. In a cold room under lights. We were tools. Weapons. Made to follow orders. And the drunk slaver? He was our handler. We escaped once. He caught us, sold us cheap to drink away his shame." Logan clenched his jaw. "And now?" "Now we are free." "But broken," Rhea whispered. Tess touched her shoulder. "He doesn't need to know that." "I do," Logan said gently. "You can't fix yourself unless you admit what's broken." Rhea looked up at him. Her eyes were wet, not with tears. Something else. A shine. A flicker. Like her body wasn't sure how to feel, but wanted to try. "Are you afraid of us?" she asked. Logan thought about it. "Yes, he said, but only because I don't want to fail you. That surprised them. Theus leaned back. Most fear us because they want to control us. Then they're stupid, Logan muttered. You're not weapons, you're people. Strange people, maybe, but still people. A soft hum rose through the floor. Logan stood up fast. What's that? Thess's eyes narrowed. Ship sensors. Someone's scanning us. Logan ran to the cockpit. On the screen, a strange mark blinked, a signal code not from the colony. From orbit. Someone's watching, he said. From above, Thess joined him, staring at the screen. We've been found. By who? Not sure, she said. But they won't ask nicely. Logan sighed, rubbing his face. I should have known things wouldn't stay quiet. Rhea stood in the doorway behind them. We can run. No, Logan said firmly. We stand, together. He didn't know what that meant yet, or how to fight a threat from orbit. But he knew one thing. He had brought these girls into his life. He wouldn't abandon them now, and deep down something told him. They wouldn't let him fall either. Outside, the stars watched in silence. But danger was coming, and this time, the junkyard wouldn't be enough to hide them. The morning after, the scan, the junkyard felt colder. Even though the twin suns of the colony rose bright and hot, Logan couldn't shake the chill on his neck. He kept checking the sky, expecting ships to appear. But the air stayed quiet. Too quiet. Inside the ship, Thess was already armed. Not with a gun, but with metal tools sharpened into blades. She moved with the calm of someone trained for war. Rhea, meanwhile, stood near the main panel, her fingers glowing faintly as she layered new protection codes around the ship's weak firewall. Logan paced. You're sure someone marked you? Yes, Thess said, but not just me. You too. Now that we're bonded, they'll come for all of us. Logan paused. You keep using that word. Bonded. What does it mean? Rhea answered without looking at him. When we were made, we were designed to imprint on the first being who showed us mercy. It's hardwired in us. Emotional response becomes purpose. It keeps us stable. So, I'm your emotional support human? Logan muttered. Thess gave a slight smirk. Yes, and now we protect you like our own core. Before Logan could respond, a soft knock echoed through the ship. Not loud, just strange, calm. He grabbed his old blaster and walked to the hatch. Who is it? Delivery, a smooth voice replied. I didn't order anything. There was silence. Then the voice said, You didn't have to, you're being delivered to us. Logan opened the small outer cam. Outside stood a tall alien man in dark robes. His skin shimmered like silver foil, and his eyes glowed red. Behind him stood 4 guards in armor bearing a symbol Logan didn't recognize, a triangle wrapped in black vines. Thess swore under her breath. Who are they? House Varnex, she said. Galactic nobles. They used to own labs like the one we came from. What do they want? She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Logan turned back to the screen. The silver man stared directly into the camera. You have 2 units in your possession, he said smoothly. They are not registered under your name, that is theft under galactic law. They're not things, Logan snapped. They're people. The man didn't blink. They are property of Varnex. You may surrender them now or face consequence. Rhea stepped forward. Her voice was calm, but her hands shook. If we go with them, we will be erased, broken down, and rebuilt. No, Logan said. You're not going anywhere. Suddenly, the ship rocked. A sound, sharp, low, like thunder underwater, rattled the walls. They're jamming the local port frequencies, Thess growled. No one can help us now. Logan gripped the edge of the console. So we fight. Rhea turned toward him, eyes wide. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do. Logan slammed a switch, activating the auto-defense program. The outer turret sparked to life. One gun, barely working, but enough to cause noise. Outside, the guards moved. A warning shot exploded into the sand, missing on purpose. Inside, Tess charged the main doors, blades in each hand, fire in her eyes. Rhea pressed her palms to the wall. A humming began, and light crawled up her arms. "I can overload the fusion core," she said. "Make it unstable. They won't risk killing us if they want to reclaim us." "You sure?" Logan asked. "No," she whispered, "but I want to try." Logan gave her a nod. "Do it." Outside, the Silver Noble raised his hand, and all guards took aim. Before they could fire, a loud pulse shook the air. It wasn't a weapon. It was a signal. From above, a massive shadow passed over the scrapyard, a dark ship, smooth and ancient, blocking both suns. No one had seen it land. It was just there. The noble paused. His face twisted. "That's not ours," Tess said. The ship opened. A figure stepped out, old, tall, wrapped in blue robes. His eyes were gold, and his skin was like stone. "I claim the girls under the old rite," the stranger said. The noble snarled. "You have no right to interfere. I am House Morin, first science lords of the old empire. You lost the war. Your claims are void." The guards hesitated. Even Varnex knew better than to challenge a Morin. Logan whispered to Tess, "Friend of yours?" "No," she replied. "Enemy of our enemy." The Morin lord turned toward Logan. "You are the human. They bonded to you?" Logan nodded. "Strange," the lord murmured. "They were never meant to bond to humans." He stepped back. "This is not over. They are marked, and marked things are never safe." Then he was gone. The ship lifted into the sky like smoke rising, silent, cold. The Varnex noble left without another word. Logan sat down, heart racing. Tess sat beside him, still holding her blades. Rhea knelt at his feet. "You stayed." "Of course I did," he said. She touched his hand gently. Tess whispered, "You don't understand what you've done. Now we're not just bonded to you." Logan looked up. "Then what?" Rhea answered quietly. "Now you're one of us." The next 2 days passed in silence, but not peace. Logan barely slept. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the red eyes of the Varnex noble and the golden stare of the Morin lord. Rhea and Tess moved quietly around the ship, but he could feel the tension in the air like static, heavy and waiting. He sat in the cockpit staring at the stars, wondering what he had gotten himself into. He had just wanted to fix his ship, maybe earn a few credits. Now he was stuck with 2 alien girls who weren't really girls, enemies who wanted to reclaim them, and ancient houses watching from the shadows. He turned to Tess, who leaned against the doorway. "I want to know everything." She crossed her arms. "No, you don't. I need to know. If I'm already in this, I deserve the truth." She stared at him for a moment, then nodded. "Fine." She walked over to the console, tapped a few keys, and pulled up a hidden data file stored inside her wrist. A small chip slid out from under her skin like it was part of her. Logan stared. "You're a machine?" "No," she said. "Not like that. I'm something between. We both are." Rhea entered quietly, her eyes calm but sad. She sat beside Logan and whispered, "We were built, but we feel. We remember things we were never taught." Logan watched the screen as files opened. Blueprints, codes, diagrams. This was a program called Project Seraphim, Tess explained. Started by the old science lords, Morin, Varnex, and others. They wanted the perfect life form. Not just soldiers, not just machines. Beings who could evolve, think, feel, and obey. They mixed tech with biology, Rhea added. They made us in tanks, fed us language, combat, healing, memory, emotion. But the one thing they couldn't control was bonding. Logan leaned in. Bonding to who? To whoever showed us mercy first, Tess said. It was a failsafe, buried deep. A last command from one scientist who believed we deserved choice. But choice comes with danger, Rhea whispered. Because once bonded, we can't be unbonded. That's why they shut the program down. And you too? We were the last batch, Tess said. Born in secret, hidden when the labs were destroyed. The handler, he escaped with us, but he didn't care. We were never activated properly, just left. Until you came. Logan sat back. So that's why you follow me? No, Rhea said softly. We follow you because you didn't see us as tools. You saw us as someone. A silence passed between them. Then Logan said, I still don't understand why I matter to these nobles. Why not just take you back and erase the link? They can't, Tess replied. That's the secret. The bond isn't just emotional. It's neural, chemical, tech-based. Once we imprint, our core syncs with yours. Logan blinked. You mean, yes, she said. If they forcefully remove us now, we die. And so do you. His breath caught in his throat. You're joking. We're not, Rhea said gently. Our lives are connected. That's why they're hesitating. That's why they didn't storm in with guns. Logan stood up and paced. So I'm, what? A living key? A target? Both, Tess said. He laughed bitterly. Great. I wanted to trade a bottle for some ship parts, and now I'm a walking death switch. Rhea stood up and took his hand. You're more than that. You gave us a future. Tess stepped closer too. And now we give you ours. Logan looked between them. They weren't lying. Their eyes held something deeper than code. Something real. Trust. Loyalty. Maybe even care. He swallowed hard. So what do we do now? Tess answered first. We run. We hide. And we learn to fight. Back. Logan looked at Rhea. You agree? She nodded. But not just with weapons, we need to find the others. What others? There were more like us, she whispered. Scattered. Lost. Forgotten. Some broken. Some hiding. If we find them, we're not alone anymore. Logan sighed and looked out the window. Stars blinked back at him. Endless. Cold. Dangerous. He finally said, All right, we'll find them. Rhea smiled and Tess's eyes softened. That night, Logan unlocked a hidden bay in the ship, long unused. He dusted off old gear, armor, weapons, maps, supplies. He wasn't a hero. He was just a mechanic. But now he had something to protect. Or, maybe, someone to protect him. As he closed the panel and walked back into the main room, he saw Rhea humming a strange tune, soft and distant. Tess stood nearby, sharpening a blade made from melted star steel. And for the first time since he bought them for one drink, Logan didn't feel alone. He felt like part of something, not a master, not their owner, just one of them. Connected, marked, chosen. The alarm screamed just before sunrise. Red lights flashed across the ship's console, waking Logan with a sharp jolt. He stumbled from his bunk, heart pounding, as the screen displayed a message in bold blinking. Letters. Unidentified warship entering atmosphere. Approach locked on your coordinates. Tess was already awake. She stood in the hallway with blades strapped across her chest, eyes glowing faintly red. They found us. Rhea stood behind her, barefoot and calm, hands glowing as she powered up the defense grid Logan didn't even know the ship had until last night. How big is the ship? Logan asked, throwing on his jacket. Rhea's voice was steady. Class 7 war cruiser, Varnex colors. Overkill for 2 fugitives. Tess corrected her, stepping into the cockpit. They're not here for just us anymore. They want him. Logan blinked. Me? You're bonded to us, Tess said. That makes you part of the problem and the prize. Outside, the sky split open. A thunderous roar shook the colony as the Varnex cruiser broke through the atmosphere like a blade. Dust and wind slammed into the scrapyard, sending parts and debris flying into the air. Workers ran. Droids shut down. Everyone who had heard the rumors about Logan and his alien girls now ran the other way. The warship hovered silently above Logan's ship. Then it spoke. A voice, deep and echoing, filled the air from orbit. Return Project Seraphim units or face full planetary. Breach, you have 5 minutes. Logan looked at the girls. We can't outrun that. Tess nodded. Then we make them hesitate. He pointed at her. You've got one chance. If this doesn't work, we'll be dead in 5 minutes. Tess went to the comms and opened a direct channel. This is Unit Theta 9, she said clearly. Any forceful detachment from bonded host will result in synchronized termination of all 3 core links. There was a pause. Then the warship replied, We are authorized for risk. Rhea stepped forward, her voice soft but serious. But are you prepared for loss? Our deaths will end the bond, but leave the data inside us corrupted forever. Silence. Again. Then a subtle shift in tone, hesitation. Logan used the moment. He rushed to the ship's rear bay and flipped open the launch crate, revealing the Javelin bike, a dusty but fast one-man hovercycle. He looked at Rhea and Tess. I'll be the distraction, he said. You two find a way to get off this rock. No, Tess snapped. You run, we follow. That's not a good plan. It's the only one, she said. If they want you this badly, then we use you to lead them away, and we attack where they're weak. Logan nodded, slowly. Okay. Then let's make this messy. Rhea raised both hands. A wave of soft blue light spread through the ship like fog. The panels, engines, and thrusters shimmered. I've cloaked the ship's signal. They'll think we've stayed still, but we'll move out the back, fast. Cloaking tech? Logan asked. You never mentioned you could do that. Didn't know I could, Rhea said. Until I saw you scared. Logan gave a nervous laugh. Guess fear is useful sometimes. As the Varnex ship sent out drop pods, Logan revved the Javelin bike, the engine growling under him like a beast waking up. Tess climbed on behind him, holding 2 star blades. Rhea stayed behind, fingers on the console, directing the signal. Trick. Be safe, she whispered. Logan met her eyes. You too. Then the back hatch opened, and the bike shot out into the dust-stormed plains. The Varnex scanners picked up the movement instantly. Target on the move. 2 lifeforms detected. Pursuing. 2 fighter drones launched from the cruiser and zipped down toward the surface like hawks. Tess clung tightly to Logan as the bike raced through scrap hills and deep ridges. We need cover, Logan shouted. There. Tess pointed at an old mining shaft, abandoned and dark. They dove in. Lasers flashed behind them, tearing through rock and metal. The bike swerved, nearly crashing, but Logan held on. Inside the shaft, it was narrow and steep. They jumped off as the bike skidded to a halt. I'll hold them here, Tess said. Logan grabbed her arm. Not alone. We don't have time to argue. Before he could stop her, she ran forward, blades glowing. When the first drone entered the shaft, she leapt like lightning and sliced it in half midair. The second drone fired, but Logan grabbed a loose power cable and whipped it at the machine. Sparks exploded and the drone crashed beside him. Outside more were coming. Then the sky cracked again, but not from the Varnex. A second ship appeared, sleek, smaller, and unmarked. It hovered over Rhea's cloaked signal and deployed a strange pod. Rhea stared up as the hatch opened. Inside was a figure, not Varnex, not Morin, but someone familiar. You called, the figure said. Rhea nodded. We need allies. Then let's start with war. As Logan and Tess climbed back to the surface, covered in dust and burns, they saw the 2 ships exchanging fire in the sky. And there, standing in the center of it all, was Rhea, with her eyes glowing white, no longer afraid. They came, for us, she whispered. But now, we fight for him. Logan looked at the war above and said one word. Together. Smoke rose above the junkyard hills. The sky burned red as plasma fire streaked across the clouds. Logan stood beside Tess, dirt on his face, his jacket torn and burned. Around them, the battlefield echoed with silence after chaos. The enemy, warship, had retreated, limping into the sky like a wounded animal. But the damage was done. The colony was shaken. The old scrapyard now looked like a graveyard of broken metal and lost peace. The sleek, unmarked ship that had helped them land, quietly beside the wreckage. Its hatch opened, and out stepped the stranger who had answered Ria's call, a woman with steel gray eyes and skin like polished stone. She wore no crest, no uniform, but walked like someone used to command. "Who are you?" Logan asked. The mind woman looked him over. "Once I was part of the team that created them. Project Seraphim. I escaped before the destruction. I've been searching for survivors ever since." Tess narrowed her eyes. "You left us." "I couldn't stop what they were doing," the woman replied. "But I left a backdoor code in your cores, so one day you'd find someone to truly bond with, someone to give you choice, not orders." She looked at Logan and nodded. "You were the answer." Logan shifted uncomfortably. "I'm no hero. I'm just a mechanic who gave up a bottle of whiskey." The woman smiled faintly. Sometimes the smallest kindness can unlock the strongest bonds. Behind them, Ria walked forward, her eyes still glowing softly. "We don't want to run anymore," she said. "We want to live." "Then live," the woman said. "But know this. Now that the Varnaks and Morin have seen you, they won't stop. You've made them look weak. They'll come again. Harder. Stronger." Logan stepped forward. "Let them come. We'll be ready." The woman raised an eyebrow. "We?" "Yes," Tess said firmly. "He's not our owner. He's not our master. He's our bond, our link, our family." The woman looked at them with something close to pride, then turned and walked back toward her ship. "If you ever need me again, this ship is yours." Ria called out, "What's your name?" The woman paused in the hatch. "Call me Nova, the first who broke away." Then she was gone. Days passed. The colony slowly returned to life, though. People looked at Logan differently now, some with fear, some with respect. He didn't care either way. His focus was on rebuilding his ship and making a home for the two girls who refused to leave his side. One evening, as the three of them sat on the rooftop of the hangar under twin moons, Logan looked up and said quietly, "I thought I'd be alone forever." Ria rested her head on his shoulder. "You were never alone. You just hadn't been found yet." Tess sat cross-legged beside them, sharpening a blade she no longer needed. "You're stuck with us now. We've accepted you," Logan chuckled. "Sounds serious." "It is," Tess said. "We don't imprint lightly." He looked at them, one calm as starlight, the other fierce as fire, and felt something warm in his chest. Not fear, not confusion. Something simple. Belonging. One night, while cleaning the old storage bay, Logan found something buried under a tarp, an old plaque from Earth, dusty but still readable. "Home is not a place, it's who you share it with." He smiled. Later, he mounted it inside the ship, right above the cockpit. Months passed. The ship was restored and upgraded, thanks to Raya's mysterious connection to forgotten tech and Thess's strength. The colony began to trust them, slowly. Logan even found work again, but now with help by his side. One day, a group of strangers arrived, quiet, lost, and unsure. A small girl with golden eyes, a tall boy with silver arms. They carried the same look Ria once had when she stepped out of that cage. "They're like us," Tess said. "Hidden. Broken." Logan welcomed them aboard. "Then let's fix what they broke." And so, the human who bought two alien girls for one drink became something more than just a lucky man with a strange crew. He became a protector, a father, A family, not by blood, not by duty, but by choice. The girls, once built to serve, now chose their path. And they chose him, not as their master, but as their home.